All right. So I'm not as good of a public speaker quite as Mike. So I'm going to need to use a PowerPoint presentation and some notes. Hope that's not too bad. In fact, actually, the last time that I spoke publicly was when I was 13 in front of my 7th grade class. I was speaking about growing up, and it was a pretty traumatizing experience. Because, as I said, I was supposed to say, we're growing up so fast, but I said, we're growing up so fast. So I never really heard the end of that, even like up to this day. People were just like, oh yeah, you're the kid who spoke in 7th grade and your voice cracked. So if my voice cracks today, give me a break, okay? Okay, so I'm going to talk about going big fast, basically. I'm going to share kind of some of the basic principles. Some of the basic principles and methods that really helped me to win SC1 and SC2 this year, which was a great feeling. I had my best push ever over 26K, which is double to what I've ever pushed before up to that point. To preface those tips I want to give, I want to share with you kind of how my summer started, so some of you newer reps can really realize that it's not necessary to be in the business. You see all these guys come, they're over $100,000, over $200,000 in sales. But it's not really necessary to have that huge, massive contact list. You guys can do it as new reps. It is possible. I played baseball at DePaul University last year, so I didn't really sell much during the year. With that in mind, I knew that I still wanted to come back and sell 50K each summer. I was confident in my ability to sell. I started to get excited around May. Unfortunately, I came back from school and realized that all of my referral books were gone. So I had about over 200 referrals that I had not contacted yet from the summer before that were totally gone, which was miserable. So I thought, oh shit, I'm screwed, I was pretty upset. But I really am very proud of the fact that I was able to overcome those challenges and still hit my goal for the summer. And I really did it fast. I did this summer what I did last summer, more than what I did last summer in really 6 weeks. 2 months, basically what I did last summer in 3.5 months. So I want to kind of remind everyone who's newer to Vector that it really is possible to go from nothing to your biggest push ever, and it's possible to do it fast. So I'm going to touch briefly kind of on a lot of different points, but it's all going to start with goal setting. The first things first, you can't succeed at anything unless you really have a concrete goal and you're willing to put it all on the line to achieve. Setting a goal for yourself is really one of the most important aspects of success. I included this quote, it's one of my favorite quotes. All successful people have a goal. No one can get anywhere unless he knows where he wants to go. Go big. Go big for your goals. I never in a million years thought I could sell $25,000. Really my biggest push before that was $14,000. I thought I worked my tail off when I did that. Originally I set my goal for $20K, and even though I really thought that was going to be impossible, I upped it to $25K only because of Brett Lancaster telling me that he was glad that my goal was only, where's Brett? He's right there. I stopped by the Dallas office and he told me that he was glad my goal was only $20K so he could beat me. So I had to up it to 25. But really, have any of you guys ever set a goal or this summer had a manager tell you, okay, you can hit 10K, really in the back of your mind you're like, no way. That definitely was going through my mind at that point. You're like, oh, you can sell 25K, you got it. I actually went down to Austin to field train with Sean and Josh, and they were like, oh yeah, you can sell 20K, no big deal. No big deal. And I was like, oh yeah, no big deal. Oh yeah, no way. But really, I continued to share that goal with a lot of different people who supported me, and eventually, Mike actually touched on this a little bit. I started to believe in myself that maybe it was possible, maybe I could hit that goal. And so I include this quote from Muhammad Ali because I think he really sums it up very well. Even if you don't think your goal is achievable, tell yourself it is continuously, and eventually you can almost trick your mind into believing that it is. So once you have your goal kind of in set, you're going to have to start to plan. You're going to start off with a massive action plan. Plan 2 weeks ahead. I started planning for my push, the IC2 push. Now, this doesn't have to necessarily go for a push, but just anytime you want to go big, you really have to have a plan. So I sat down with your manager, accountability buddy, whoever it is, your support group, and figure out a specific plan on how you're going to achieve every goal. How many demos do you need to do? How many phone calls do you need to have each night? How many contacts do you have to make that many phone calls? Having a goal is important, but really with no precise plan, you're going to make hitting that goal very difficult. The next part of this plan is to talk to the best in the business. Get in touch with the best people in your office, division, your region, people who've done what you aspire to do. I drove down to Austin, like I said, actually 2 weeks before SC2, and I field trained for Josh and Sean, who, if you guys don't know, are number 1 and 2 in the region right now for the summer. Finished number 1 and 2 in the region for the summer. And they had massive pushes. They actually both had, was over 30K and over 40K push for the development conference. So they had massive, massive pushes, so I definitely looked up to them a lot. I knew a lot, I could learn a lot from them. I asked a lot of specific questions. How'd you stay motivated? How'd you have such massive orders? How many phone calls did you make in a day? And really I absorbed all that and took some really good notes and really applied that to my own goal. And really I can honestly say that if I hadn't been around them that week, that I probably would not have hit my goal. I would not have hit 25K. So really consulting the best and talking to people who have done what you want to do is really huge. Really surrounding yourself with successful people with positive mentalities, high expectations, and change your own expectations and really drive you to levels of success you never thought possible. Obviously, you got a plan to put all your personal distractions aside for 2 weeks. It's kind of general. You can't be out drinking every night with the boys or going to the lake every weekend. If you really want to hit your goal, you got to be committed. Stay 100% committed. Find some people who support and listen to you. Like I said, share your goals with everyone, but I was really, honestly, I shared the fact that not only this was my goal, but that I was really scared of failing to hit that goal. And I swear, I shared, of course, your family, your office. Also all my customers, I told them how scared I was. And I actually had a few customers who, I was like, oh, I want to go to Mexico, I want to sell 25K. I had customers who called me after the push was over because they, I think, really cared about me going to Mexico more than I cared about me going to Mexico, which I thought was pretty funny. Find an accountability buddy. If you guys don't know what accountability buddy is, it's really somebody who's invested in you and wants to see you hit your goals almost as much as you do. It could be someone in your office, someone in your division, someone in your region. Just someone that you keep in touch with. You hold them accountable, they hold you accountable. It's a lot harder, to quit on someone else than it is to quit it yourself. So plan your pushes together, motivate each other. I'll show you here. I'll show you a picture of my accountability buddy. Two of them. The guy on the left is John Carpenter, but he's actually a lot smarter than any of us. Just doesn't take very good pictures. He's not here. He'd probably kill me if I told him. The idea of a 3-week push is something that I applied this year that was new. I actually got this from Sean, and it was awesome. Worked really well. I used to always kind of, I don't know if you guys do this or not, but you kind of take a week before a push, take it off, take it easy, because you're about to bust your ass for 2 weeks and you're gonna be struggling a lot. So I would go to the lake and relax, do a couple demos a day, not much. But I actually tried this. This year, and it was fantastic. It's kind of like warming up before a workout. It's a lot harder to go from doing 2 demos a day to doing 8 demos a day every day for 2 weeks. So if you kind of get yourself in the groove, get yourself getting started a little earlier, it's really going to help you kind of get in that mindset a little bit earlier. It also allows you to build a massive contact list. Really starting a push with 200 fresh leads. This SC2, as opposed to only 50 probably would have had, the SC2 before that, made things a lot easier. It's definitely a big factor in my success. With this list, I had no problem getting 6 or more demos a day. And then, of course, the pre-push Saturday and Sunday phone time, where I probably did 5 to 6 hours of calls. With doing that, you're able to book. I was able to book up my entire week. So I knew that I didn't have to do any phone time Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And with that, I could squeeze a few more demos. Qualify. This is one of the most important things that helped me out a ton too, as far as going big. If you really want to go big, it's always important to qualify people, especially if you want to go big in a small amount of time. I'd probably say this is the most important skill that I'm going to talk about. See Supermax. Now Supermax, is somebody who probably makes over $100,000 a year. Somebody who can buy a ultimate set in cash. You see. So to get those people, you're going to have to ask detailed questions from your customers. You're not being rude. Does anyone think it's rude when you ask? Does anyone feel a little awkward asking for references or asking things about the references they give you? Feel kind of awkward? Well, really, you got to get that out of your head because it's not being rude to ask those detailed questions. I always start with, thanks so much for your references. Now, if I could just ask you a few quick questions about these folks, so I can schedule them at the right time. Yeah, they're always nice and receptive. Like, yeah, sure. So you just say, real quick, can you just tell me what neighborhoods they live in? I try to schedule people who live near each other for the same day.